That's what's happened. And the thing is, you're getting more of a, from your perspective of all you in organizations, you're going to get more of a friend from your in-house lawyers now because they feel the pain more than ever. It's the outside counsel that traditionally just say, it doesn't cost me anything on this phone call to say, save it, because I don't have to save it, I don't have to deal with it, and I'm not going to take a risk, so thanks very much, and they hang up. That is a discordance, really, and an issue. But who owns the data? Who owns the risk? The organization does. Your lawyers provide advice, and some lawyers provide good advice, some provide bad advice. Do you know that? It's a marketplace. Like, the people who graduate from law school don't have this magic elixir, they're not all right. Okay? So it's a really important thing to align yourself within your organization, figure out who the people in the law department are that are actually dealing with this, and you're going to see now today something you didn't see 3 years ago. And that is a much greater reception and willingness to engage on this because they now see the pain because they paid the bills. They are paying the cost of overpreservation, okay? To get it right does cost a lot. So the scenario that Ken threw out at me, and you'd have to war game it, talk about, well, what is this legal hold really going to be? How are you actually going to narrow it down and focus on it? It takes work. Yes, it does. But that work today can save so much tomorrow. And the latent risks and costs, and we're going to get right into that, and Randy deals with this all the time, is when you look at these piles of information, the latent risks and costs of keeping it forever. It's insane. So let's be Chuck, okay? We don't have any guns. I'm not for guns. You know, by the way, I said that with kids. I have 4 boys that grew up, and I have 6 boys now with a blended marriage. 6 boys. I always thought when the kids were young, you know what? I'm never going to have guns. Kids don't have guns. We're not going to buy toy guns. They pick up anything. They pretend everything's a gun. So we're not going to give you guns. You can pretend you got guns. I don't care. The reality is exactly what Randy said. You are more empowered today, and you've got more friends today. So if that doesn't encourage you, I don't know what will. But let's talk about what does this really mean in our context here about right-sizing. Randy, you talk about right-sizing. You know, this isn't some diet plan. What is right-sizing your data? What does that really mean?
So right-sizing is, I think, probably a really great place for the typical records manager to sort of hone in on, because it allows you to take a business problem, it allows you to take a business approach to a business problem, right? So today I'm talking to a privacy officer. I understand that a privacy officer, like if I was records manager, the agenda of the privacy officer, they don't care about your boxes at the off-site storage facility. That's not what gives them heartburn, right? What they care about is how much electronic PII may be exposed. I'm having the conversation. I'm trying to get support for this idea of right-sizing your information footprint, getting rid of the crud, keeping the stuff that we need. What he or she cares about as privacy officer is I'm mitigating risk. Hey, I want you a part of my defensible disposal steering committee. I want you to help me push this thing out across this company. You as privacy officer obviously care about our PII risk, our PHI risk. What that means is if I have less information floating around in a variety of electronic systems, my exposure footprint is smaller. Hey, privacy officer, does that move you? North and South movement, brilliant. I got a buyer. Hey, general counsel, this is the deal. Our program, our information governance program is doing a company-wide defensible disposal project. I need your support. It's essential for making this thing work. Brilliant. Talk more. Well, obviously, there's a lot of drivers that are valuable for the company, but clearly one of the things that we're really getting clocked with is litigation expense. If we right-size our information footprint, in other words, getting rid of all the crud, keeping the stuff that we need to keep for legal and business purposes, litigation response is going to be simpler, less inconvenient for our employees, cheaper. Oh, brilliant, another buyer. My committee is growing. Hey, CFO, I can make our employees in a macro kind of way more efficient. I need your support. I need your support on our steering committee. Our information governance steering committee is taking on defensible disposal. Get the heck out of my way. So this is the deal. I need your support because I can make the employees 25% more efficient. Well, how do you propose to do that? Well, this is